So here's the next 2 weeks. This week and next week are our last two classes. If we need to do some refreshers, or if anybody missed anything that they want to go over, since the last couple of weeks have been crazy, then let me know. We'll come up with a private time to do it. And if a few people want to get together, we can do it together. It's totally up to you. We're going to do Friday night Kiddush. We're going to do Aleinu. We're going to do the Kiddush that's in the synagogue. We're going to do Aleinu. I want to do Hatikva, a prayer for the state of Israel. I want to then double back to the Kiddush we do at home, which is a little bit longer. And then some other at-home stuff for Friday night. And then two other things, the bracha to put on a talit someone wanted, and Birkat Hamazon. Birkat Hamazon is kind of a lot. So that might be an add-on that we might do for anybody that wants to do it afterwards. I think the next 2 weeks, if we concentrate on the two Kiddushes, Aleinu, Hatikva, the prayer of state of Israel, and the Talit, we're good. I know a few people want to do Birkat Hamazon, so we can kind of come up with another time to do it and go through it, because it is a lot. And it's more than just one.
Just people do it so fast. I can do it. I can do it from memory. It's just that people read it so fast.
And that's one of the things that Birkat Hamazon is one of those things that that it's like Ashrei. It's not just let's read through it once. It's really that we have to go through it a few times, and you want to do it on your own a few times, that sort of thing. The other thing that I find with Birkat Hamazon, or any of these really, is, like I said, once you start reading it, what you remember the words are not exactly the words that show up on that page, because you've been pronouncing them differently all along.
That's right.
And so that tends to be harder than learning something from scratch.
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to start on page 55 in Lev Shalem, and I will put it up on the screen.
Okay.
And this is just the Kiddush in Shul, which is the Friday night, right? Saturday morning is just Vishamru and regular Borei Pri Hagafen, and you're done. This is a little bit longer, and this is what's said at Shul after Amidah, before we conclude the service with Aleinu. All right, so we'll share that. And let's see. I think we can get away with this. Yes, we can. Okay. Everybody can see that?
No.
Oh. How about now?
Go there.
Yes.
Okay. I was sizing it, and I don't like to size it while you're on the screen, because I don't want anybody to get a headache or whatever. Okay. So first line, very simple. Everybody knows it. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. Right?
Yep.
We know that. All right. Barbara, start with line 2.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Haolam.
Haolam. Yeah.
Haolam. Yeah.
Linnell.
Asher Kirishanu B'mitzvotav Vetzi. I'm about to say something else. Varitza.
Veratza.
Baratza. Vanu.
Yep. Jennifer.
Ve'Shabbat kodesho ba'ahava uvratzon hinchalanu.
Hilanu. Yep. Yep. Barb.
Zikaron Lama'aseh Bereshit.
Okay, I'm gonna scroll. Sandy.
Ihu Yam Tara Vimikara E Kodesh.
Yep. Ki hu yom tatila la mikra'e kodesh. That's a hard one. Barbara.
Zecher Li'isat Mitzrayim.
Okay, Linnell.
He, uh, Banu,
Vanu.
okay. Vaharata, ve u, ve'utanu, ki dashta, sorry, mi kol, ha, I mean. That was
Ki vanu v'chata ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim. Jennifer.
Shabbat Kodshacha Be'ahava Uvratzon Hinchalanu. Hinchaltain Atanu.
Yep. Barb.
Baruch atah Adonai Mikadesh HaShabbat.
Yep. So this is how we sing in Shul. Baruch atah Eloheinu melech haolam v'peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddeshanu b'mitzvotav tzavanu v'shabbat kodsho ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikron lema'aseh bereshit. And then everybody chimes in. Ki hu yom
Lemikra Kodesh.
Kodesh.
Mitzrayim
Ki
v'ata ve'otanu kidashta mikol
Amen.
ve'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava
Uvratzon
uvratzon
Hinchilanu.
Adonai Mekadesh.
Shabbat.
And it usually goes a lot faster. I tried to do it slower, so when you're looking at the video, you could follow along, hopefully syllable by syllable. So this is the second half of what we do at home. At home, there's Vayom HaShishi, Vayechulu HaShamayim V'Haaretz V'Chol Hotza'am, right, at home. And we'll go over that one next week. And then we go to Aleinu. And this is, I like to say when I teach this, when we do this for Saturday mornings, when I teach Saturday morning services, which is level 3, I start at the end and I go backwards. Because if I start at the beginning, nobody will know what we're doing. But if I start at the end, everybody knows Aleinu means we're almost done, right? All right. Sandy, we left off with you. Why don't you start?
Aleinu Lashabaya La'adon Hakol.
Yep. Aleinu leshabeach. This is our exception to the rule. Remember, Aleinu leshabeach la'adon hakol. Barbara.
Latat Pedulo,
Gedula.
Gedula, Leotsor, Barashi.
Latate Gedula Le Yotzer Bereshit.
What's that next to the last word?
Le Yotzer,
Leotzer. Okay, Leotzer.
right? Latet Gedula Le Yotzer Bereshit.
Okay.
Linnell,
Shalom.
mm-hmm.
Sanu.
Yep.
Be gu. Oh, see. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I'm lost.
Shelo Astan Ke Go Yay.
Okay. Cat go yay. Is that right? Cat go
Yep. Ke Go Yay.
yay. Okay. Ha ratsot.
Yep. Shelo Asanu Ke Go Yay Ha'aratzot. Jennifer?
Velo samanu kamishpachot ha'adama.
You got it. Below Samanu Kemish Pechot Adama. Right. So here's another one of our rules. When two vowels go walking, when two shvas go walking, the second one does the talking, right? That one's bolded, so they want you to pronounce that. Okay, I'm scrolling up a little bit. Barb from Shiloh. Shiloh Sam Chelkenu Kahem. Sandy?
Virgo Ra Lenu Ta Kal Hamor Nam.
Yep. Vigo Ralenu Kechol Hamonam. Okay, Barbara.
Va'anachnu koraim v'mish tachadim vorodim.
Va'nachnu Korim U'mishtachavim U'modim. All right. Now you'll notice that there's this little symbol here, which means we bow, right? So this line says, Va'nachnu, and we, Korim, we bow at the knee, U'mishtachavim, we bow at the waist, U'modim, and we stand up. And so, this is my pet peeve, is that we're always taught that we start to bow at Va'nachnu, when in fact, I'm going to stand up, when in fact, we should be bowing at Va'nachnu Korim, we bend at the knees, U'mishtachavim, we bend at the waist, U'modim, right? So those are the words that we say. And so, the whole movement does it that way, anywhere we go, because we've always been taught that. But so I'm the only one that does it out of rhythm because I do to the words. Anyway, that's my own little comment there, but you don't have to change the way you're doing it. Okay, Barb, Lifnei.
Lifnei Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Got it. Lifnei Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Sandy.
Then you know Te Shamaim Vesad Haaretz.
Shehu noteh shamayim veyosed aretz. Shehu noteh shamayim veyosed aretz. I'm scrolling. Barbara.
Isn't that, okay, that's a different line, okay. Umoshab, v'kadro, bashamayim, mima'al.
Moshav yekaro bashamayim mima'al. Linnell.
Ve sha u sha ki not
Sorry.
that's okay. Utso utsu
Zo.
utso, okay. Big, so is that a G-O sound then?
Oh, yep.
Okay, big gove. Hi? No,
Hey.
he, okay. Me ru me.
Ushpinat uzo be govhei meromim. Ushpinat uzo be govhei meromim. Jennifer.
Hu Eloheinu ein od.
Yep. Hu Eloheinu ein od. Barb.
Emet Malkeinu Efesh Zulato.
Emet Malkeinu Ephes Zulato. Right. Sometimes when we say this line, we kind of combine these two words. Emet Malkeinu Ephes Zulato. Right. We kind of just do it all one. But this is really Ephes Zulato. Okay. All right, Sandy.
Hatat tuv bat orato.
Yep. Keep going to the next line, even though it's long.
Vadat surta ayom va'ashevota el levaveta ki Adonai hu Elohim.
Yep. Katu v'torato ve'yadata hayom ve'chashevota el levavecha ki Adonai hu ha-Elohim. So this is another one that is, we sometimes combine these two words. Ve'yadata hayom, we say. Ve'yadata hayom, it's ve'yadata hayom, right? It's two separate words. Again, when you're singing it with the congregation, nobody's going to look at you and say, oh, well, that's wrong. But I just want to point it out to you that it's two separate words. Okay. All right. I'm going to scroll down. Here we go. Barbara.
Bashamayim, mima'al, va'al, haaretz, mitachat, al, an, ein, odes.
Got it. Bashamayim mima'al ve'al ha'eretz mitachat ein od. Okay. Questions on pronunciations, on any of this? I will send the link for the MP4, the the recording from that site that I always send. And this is one that you want to practice. You want to crack open the Siddur and practice it along with the person who's leading it. Okay?
What
Um,
page is it on? I know you mentioned it.
It's page 56.
Okay.
Okay? It's on multiple pages because it's part of each service. This service happens to be page 56. And just so everybody knows, Aleenu's the same no matter when you sing it, if it's the morning service, the afternoon service, or the evening service. Okay? All right. So let's move on to,
It's so much easier to say it when it's sung.
Yeah, isn't that the truth?
yes,
Just reading it is really hard.
it's true. Listen, I say this all the time. You know, there are some people that take this class because they just want to be able to follow along in the Siddur. There are some people that take the class because they really want to be able to sing it or sing Ashrei or, you know, something that really like they can't do, or Birkat Hamazon or any of those things. Then there are some people that say, well, this is a skill I want because I want to be able to go on and I want to be able to lead services and I want to be able to read Torah and things like that. And so for everybody, that's a different skill that you're going to acquire, right? So it's hard, you know. So I said to Rachel, who coordinates all these classes, I said, well, it's a good thing I don't have to grade them because, you know, everybody's doing it for a different reason. So everybody gets a different grade and everybody has a different, you know, point. And we can't really dictate, you know, what you have to do, right? Because everybody's taking the class for a different reason. And, you know, ultimately, I feel like we're creating a community here, right? And we're learning a skill that is the same for all of us. And so I don't want to put any harsh pressure on like, this is what must be done. This is what must be done, right? Okay. Questions on Aleinu or the Friday night Kiddush in Shul or anything like that before you move on to our extra other stuff that I
No.
think is important to have. Okay. So I think that, you know, since October 7th of last year, I've added this in to the curriculum for whatever level I'm teaching because we're starting to sing Hatikva more. And this prayer for the state of Israel is something that, you know, we say it, but, you know, we really want to mean it, right? So I feel these are things that, that we should review so that we have them and we know them. Okay. Hi, Laurel. How are you? Do you want to read for us? You want to start?
It needs to be larger.
Okay.
Oh, I can make it larger.
Wait. Oh, now I have to get back. Okay.
The font.
Uh,
Okay, I'm going to do it there because the font even larger starts to bleed on the
yeah.
screen.
Okay.
Okay.
Kol ad bale vav panima
Yeah. And this
esya.
is where again we're going to see words that we're going to go, that's that word, because I'm used to singing it right this way.
Yeah.
Kol od baleva panima.
Pani,
And this is a different font because I got this from a different source. So you're getting used to some more fonts, which is good or bad, depending on how you feel about it. I know you weren't so thrilled with the Sonic font, so we'll see. Okay. I don't remember whose turn it was, but Sandy, we'll make it your turn.
Okay, Nefesh Yehudi Homiya.
Yep. Nefesh Yehudi Homiyah. Barbara.
The Ov Guad At.
This is the hard one. Ul
I can't say that again. I couldn't hear you.
Ul Ulfate.
Pa'at. Mitzarat. Kadima.
Yep. Ulfate Mizrach Kadima. Ulfate Mizrach Kadima, right? Again, when you put it all together, it's a mouthful. It's hard. All right, Linnell.
Yin le Zion
Mhm.
Sophia.
Ein Lezion Sophia. Jennifer.
Od lo avda tik ratenu. Tikvatenu.
Vatin. Barb.
Hatikva bat Shinot al Alpayim.
Yep. Hatikva bat Shnot Hayim. Laurel.
Lehiyot ha she senu.
Yep. Liyot Chofshi. That's a kamatz katan, although you wouldn't know it from here. Chofshi Bertzenu. Sandy.
That's Ion Vidushalayim.
Yep. Eretz Zion V'Yerushalayim. All right. Are you ready to sing it with me?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to stand up. Okay. Kol od baleva nefesh
Yehudi Israel
Ayin Letzion Sophia Olam
Avda Tikvatenu
Not
Odapayim Ochi
Eat it. Liot am
Ochi Eretz Zion Yerushalayim.
Okay. Whoops. I almost fell off my chair. Okay. The translation is down here. And the reason I chose this is because I didn't want you to have the crutch of the transliteration, right? So that's here. Most of your sheets will have the transliteration on it. So if you really want to read it from the Hebrew, use this sheet to practice. And I will send you that sheet, this sheet. Questions?
Who wrote this?
I have no idea. I have to Google it.
Yeah, the name's here, but I can't get out.
Samuel? Oh, no.
Naftali Hertz Imber, a Jewish poet from Poland.
Okay.
So interestingly enough, when the state of Israel was being formed and they were deciding what to use as the national anthem, there were many, many, many choices. And the story I heard goes that this was one of them, the hope, right? The hope that we will always be around. There is one line here that says, Hatikva bat shnot alpayim, that the hope has been alive for 2,000 years, right? That we will have this state of ours. And one of the other songs that was in contention was actually Shir HaMalot, which is what we sing Friday night or Saturday afternoon before Birkat HaMazon. Shir HaMalot Beshuv Adonai et Shivat Zion Ayinu Kecholmim, right? And that was one of the contenders. And they took this one because it had no mention of God in it, and they wanted it to be very secular. And Israel became very, very secular in the first, in the first years it was there. All the kibbutzniks and all the, all of those people had no religion whatsoever, right? They just wanted to be in Israel. They believed in monotheism and all the holidays that surrounded, the culture, but they weren't religious. And so what's going on in Israel now, pre-war, is that the government is being pressured by the secular Israelis to not have religion and by the religious Israelis to have religion. And we obviously need to be somewhere in the middle. And much like is going on in this country, we don't have separation of church and state in Israel, right? We are one. But we practice very differently on a daily basis. And so you can imagine how those laws and everything come up and are just as tumultuous as we have the decisions here when it comes to, when it comes to abortion and that sort of thing. Although I guess abortion, not so much, because we're not as, I guess the Jewish religion is not as strict against abortion because we do see all the circumstances and reasons why someone may need to have an abortion, whether it's for their mental health or their physical health. But things like women taking office and women being, yeah, Jennifer.
So I was going to say that I think one of the odd things is that as somebody who went through a conversion into the conservative movement, I had to tell my kids when they were going there to Israel that they would not be considered Jewish because you have to be Orthodox to be considered
Correct.
Jewish, or they weren't recognizing. And so I thought that was odd for me to have to tell that to my kids, that even though they had bar mitzvah and bar mitzvah, that they're not in Israel. It's different. Right.
And even, it's funny, my parents are Israeli. And so when my family came here for our wedding, and our rabbi, who was a conservative rabbi, clean shaven guy, without payas and this, big beard and Streimel and all that, when he came up and, kind of introduced himself to my family was like, this is the rabbi? Where's the rabbi? I'm like, this is the rabbi. What do you mean this is the rabbi? Because to them, a rabbi is a guy with a beard and payas. Because in Israel, you go before the Orthodox rabbi to get married. Otherwise, you don't have a legal marriage.
Right.
But conversely, for example, I have a cousin who married a man who was a Kohen. And I'm sorry, she married and divorced. And then the second man she married was a Kohen. And I guess the Orthodox do not believe that a Kohen should get married to a woman who is impure.
Yeah.
Right. And so marrying somebody who had previously been married was a sin. So they actually did not get married in the Jewish, they didn't get married religiously. They went to Cyprus and got married, formally, secularly, right, civilly, and then brought their papers to Israel, and those were recognized. But their children had to be converted because they were not married. So in the same vein, they were born in Israel. They are descendants. Their mother's Jewish, their mother is Jewish, their mother's mother's mother is Jewish, but still they had to be converted in there. Otherwise, they'd be considered bastard children because they were born out of Jewish wedlock. So those are the types of things that, the secular Israelis go along with, but certainly, that whole separation of church and state doesn't happen, and they don't, and it causes a lot of problems.
So there's only Orthodox synagogues there? There's no,
There are conservative synagogues there
And even
and
Reform.
Reform synagogues,
a reform?
right?
But
But
they
they
don't
really
get support from the state like the Orthodox do.
Correct. Correct. They run themselves. I don't know if your regions, each of our 13 regions here within Women's League have sister congregations that they've paired up with. And because I was in Garden State region and now I'm in Southern region, I've had the opportunity to kind of see a couple of different congregations, and the ones that we're working with here in Southern region, they're all kind of like extracurricular clubs, right? Because they don't even have like a checkbook or a treasurer or anything, because they just put services on, and everybody brings something for Kiddush. It's like a potluck. It's a small synagogue, and they're growing, but they're under the umbrella of the Masorti movement, of the conservative movement in Israel. And that's a primitive example. And then when I was part of Garden State, we were paired up with one of the synagogues in Jerusalem, and they are a thriving synagogue that is huge. They have mostly Americans there, because again, the Israelis are either religious or secular. They don't really know anything in between, right? So, like at my Aufruf, I had my grandmother have an Aliyah. It was her first time ever having an Aliyah, ever. Because her father she was a Holocaust survivor, and her father was the gabbai in Poland at their synagogue in her town. And she was like, well, no, I'm a woman, I don't get an Aliyah. I was like, well, if you want an Aliyah, I want to give you one. And she said she would, and she did. And she was crying when she did it, because it was her very, very first time, because they just don't, again, if you're religious, then women don't even go to synagogue, right?
Yeah.
And if you're chiloni, if you're secular, then you don't even think about synagogue. So it's very different. And I explained to Israelis that here in the United States, in order to, in Israel, not everyone, but most people are Jewish, and you find your people. But here in the United States, that's your identity to the religion, is that you join a synagogue and you affiliate with all the different groups that are there, and that sort of thing. And that's kind of how I moved to Charlotte a few months ago and went to synagogue and joined the Women's League affiliate there, and go to services, and that's how I'm meeting people. That's how I'm meeting my people, right? So it's just very different. Okay. So prayer for the state of Israel. This is something that we normally will say on Saturday mornings, but I think it's important to have in our repertoire. And the official title of it is Tefillah Lishlom Medinat Yisrael. The prayer, Tefillah Lishlom, for peace, Medinat Yisrael, the state of Israel. So I find it's the prayer for peace in the state of Israel, right? Or peace of the state to its neighbors and that sort of thing. Okay. Barbara, why don't you start us off?
Which one? Me? Okay.
Can you see?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, good.
Avenu Shabashamayim Zivru, no, Zivru, Yishrael, Yigur Alo, Baruch, At Madina,
Okay. Avinu Sheba Shamayim Tzur Yisrael Vego Alo Baruch Et Medinat.
Okay.
Lamel,
Yisrael.
don't say the word in the parentheses.
Okay, don't. All right. Rashit Tsi Mi Chat Ge U La Tenu Ha Hagnu Ha again, sorry. Le Hi.
Yep. Yisrael Reshit Simichat Geulatenu. Again, Leha. Now, this word in the parentheses isn't something you shouldn't say. It just isn't something that most congregations say. But if not, it's Sheteh. Sheteh, right? That will be is what it means. So kind of another verb to put into the sentence. Okay, Jennifer.
Be'avrat Hasdecha Ufros Alea Sukat Shalomecha Uslach Orecha Orcha.
Orcha, you got it. Be'evrat Hasdecha Ufros Aleha Sukat Shelomecha Ushlach Orecha, right? Remember, as I'm reading this, that these dots the dots that are in letters that normally don't have dots, and these little lines are where you want to emphasize, right? So, Be'evrat Chasdecha Ufros Aleha Sukat Shelomecha, right? So that's where we know where to put the emphasis. Ushlach Orcha. Perfect. Barb.
V'amitcha l'rashetaha sarecha b'oatsecha
You got it.
v'taknim ba'atsa tova.
Good. Ve'amitcha le'rasheha sareha ve'yoatseha ותקנם בעצה טובה. Mouthful. Laurel. You're muted, Laurel.
Okay. Va'amer metcha. Oh,
Meal.
milfanecha. Had dake. Has that
Zake.
of it at Yaday Migine Eretz Kad Shanu Bahan he lame.
Yep. Milfanecha. Chazek et yedei Megine Eretz Hod Shenu V'hanchilem. Sandy.
Eloheinu Yeshua Va'ateret Nitzahaon Toaterem Vinatata Shalom.
You got it. Eloheinu Yeshua Ve'ateret Nitzachon Te'atrem Venatata Shalom. Barbara.
Ba'aretz, Yishi Ma'chat Olam Leosh Vecha Veni Mar Men.
There you go. Ba'aretz Vesimchat Olam Leoshvecha Venomar Amen. And usually they go very fast. So if this is something you want to be able to say, I will record this and I may have it already. I'll see if I do, and I'll send it along. And that just takes practice to be able to say that with the congregation. And some congregations have come up with melodies and things like that. But prior to October 7th, we were just saying it. And now we're emphasizing it a little bit more. Questions?
Is this the same as a prayer in English? Because we say a prayer for Israel in English.
Probably.
Okay.
Let's look. Let's look. All right, let me stop sharing so I could scroll through and not make you dizzy.
In our congregation as well, we usually say it in English unless there is somebody who is assigned who knows it in Hebrew, and then they'll say it in Hebrew.
Gotcha. Okay.
My congregation's been doing it in Hebrew, which is why I wanted to learn it. I
Okay.
can't keep up with it.
So it's on page 178 of the Siddur, just in case you wanted to look at it. I'll share it on the screen now. So this is Stronghold and Redeemer of the people Israel, bless the state of Israel. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. So then you're doing it, and here it is, by the way. And this is again before October 7th. This is a couple years old now. These Siddurim, that they actually put the transliteration in there because people, it's because congregations were doing it. So, yeah. So now you know it in Hebrew. Okay. Questions?
My Siddur does not have the transliteration.
Oh, interesting.
Which Siddur do you use?
I have the Lev Shalem
Yeah, I know you're using Lev Shalem.
in the same page. And
On
then
page, on page,
178, and there's no transliteration.
oh, now I want to go see.
I was like, wait a minute. And I don't have one here. I don't know where mine is. But anyway. So,
It's from 2016.
and I don't know which one this is. I mean, this is something that was on, I found this again during the pandemic, and they still have it up on their website. And
Yeah, it says 2016 there.
It says it right there on the screen.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't either. That's weird.
What page did you say?
178.
Okay.
That's so strange. There's an English, but there's
So my version does have the transliteration.
huh.
Interesting.
I have Sim Shalom. It doesn't have the transliteration.
Yeah, so I have the
Not that I
2016.
know.
I have the 2016.
Lev Shalem,
Yep.
and it has the transliteration. How strange.
You've got a different version, Barbara. I don't know.
I don't either. I bought it
But-
from congregation.
No, it seemed the Lev Shalem is the Lev Shalem. There's no
Yeah.
there's nobody's out there making fake fake
Barbara,
Siduri.
what color is is the cover of your Lev Shalom?
It's red. It's red.
Right.
Just checked my synagogue.
I bought it from the synagogue. Yeah, they
Yeah. No, I'm saying it's not like it's a bootleg copy. You know what I mean? So maybe at first they didn't have it in there, and then they decided to put it in there. Maybe you bought it so early.
I just bought it when I started taking Hebrew.
Oh, so I don't know. Anyway,
Anyway,
but
there
you're gonna need just the Hebrew. You don't need the
Right.
transliteration.
I understand that, but I just think it's strange.
So we have time to go over the prayer for the Talit, which is on page 102 in Sim Shalom, Lev Shalem. And so this is the entire blessing, but it's very common just to say this part here. Okay. And that's what I want to go over. I don't think I want to go over the whole thing because it's really not said as much. All right. So just this part. So Linnell, why don't you take these two lines, this one and this one.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kedishanu bemitzvotav v'tzivanu lehit let me start over because that's a F at the end. Lehit ataf bat seat.
Lehit atef bat tzitzit. So again, our blessings are either stop here, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, like hamotzi lechem min haaretz, right? Or they continue with asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, if it's a commandment. Lehit atef b'tzitzit means to wrap myself in tzitzit. So literally, this blessing is that, right? We've gone over the difference between the two blessings, right? The ones that have the mitzvah, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu in it, are things like putting up a mezuzah, wrapping yourself in tzitzit, lighting Shabbat candles. Those are mitzvahs that are in the Torah. When we say Hamotzi lechem min haaretz or borei pri hagafen, those are not commanded for in the Torah. We're thanking God for those things. So we're not saying that you have commanded us to do on this day, right? So that's the difference of when you have a Asher Kitshanu Mitzvah Tavet Sivan in a blessing and when you don't. Okay, so next week we're going to work on Kiddush at home and some other home stuff, and we can start maybe the first paragraph of Birkat Hamazon.
Okay.
And maybe even go further. We'll see. Okay. And I will email you when the registration goes out, let you know what's going on when and all of that. I have the 3 things I have begged for when we talk with all the teachers together is that everybody not crowd their classes on Thursday and Friday morning, so that those people on the West Coast can actually not have to wake up at the crack of dawn to take a class. I had a student that said to me, Lymor, I already get up twice a week to go to this great aqua size class I really love to go to, but I'm retired and the last thing I want to do is get up on a Friday morning at 6 o'clock so that I could be showered and ready for a 7 a.m. class. And so I'm really hoping that they will intersperse some throughout. And those of you that were in the first semester class, we had a bunch of younger ladies, and they just found Sunday night to be too much because it was then, they had kids that were school age kids, and it was very hard for them to continue on because that's when they're, preparing for the week. They said if it was a Monday night or a Tuesday night, then they would say to their husband, okay, you're on, I'm off, that sort of thing, and kind of, take the hour for the class. But having the class on a Sunday night was too much for them. So I kind of gave that feedback, and hopefully there'll be other evening classes for people who work or that sort of thing. And there will be some classes that are later in the day for people on the West Coast too. So
Great.
we'll cross our fingers that happens. We've had a lot of declining enrollment. So if you know anybody that wants to take the class, again, it's free with your Women's League membership. So if you know anybody that has been hemming and hawing and wanting to take the class, let them know that the registration is going to, I'll let you know when it comes out. You can let them know and encourage your friends to participate in the classes. Because if there are not 6 people signed up for a class, they will not have the class, which is fair enough that, because the women leading the class are giving of their time too, and to have to teach to a smaller group, to a small group, because if 6 people are signed up and 2 people don't show, now you're teaching a class for 4 people, right? We have 11 people in our class, by the way, and we have, sporadically, depending on everybody's got things going on, and I cancel the class because I have things going on, right? So we'll have anywhere from 5 to 10 people depending on the day. So, questions? Okay. I will see you all next week. Have a great week.
Thank you.
And
You too.
that'll be our
Yes,
last
thank you.
class. Okay. Take care.
Okay.
Wait, next week is the last class already?
It's going to be the last class already, Laurel.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I
Bye.
will keep you and let you know what's going on with why the classes aren't on the website.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So is there anything, Lymor, that we, should know before we sign up for I always feel like I don't know the words. I can do the transliteration okay, but I don't know what they always mean.
You
So
don't need to know,
moving,
right, you don't need to know what they mean. You just need to have a fluency when you read, and I think you have that fluency.
okay,
So I don't think you should have a problem.
okay.
So Linnell, same with you. Laurel, you need a little bit of work, but I think you can catch up. Right?
Right.
So, but so and again, like I said, everybody's taking it for a different reason. So if your reason is just to follow along, then you're doing just fine. And if you feel like you wanted to take the second level again because you don't think you're ready, then by all means do it. Like I said, it's free. Nobody's grading you. It's your class. You're doing it for your reasons. So if and you can do the same thing. You go to level 3, you go to 1 or 2 classes and say, oh my God, this is over my head. Just get Rachel Ferber's the one who handles all of that, and she'll put you in a different class, and she'll tell
Okay.
you when the level 2 classes are, and you could just go back. And you could be in these classes forever if you want. So Barbara Geffen and Judy Schwartz, they're on their second pass taking level 2 with me. They took level 2, level 3. They took level 2 with somebody else. Then they came back to me for level 2. So
Got it.
again, it's what you're getting out of it. It's not about getting the grade and moving on, and nobody cares how many times you take the class or what you take. You know what I mean? So I just want you to feel comfortable. And if there's something you're not feeling comfortable with, then let's meet. Let's find some time to meet privately. Let's review some things and get you to be comfortable. And I'll give you some other stuff to read. But basically, if you go through all of the videos, all of the class videos, and you can read that and you can read what we're reading, then I think you're okay.
Hokey pokey.
All right. Have a great week, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lymor.